I have to get something off my chest, and I'm tired of hiding this, but My Hero Academia is peak. And before y'all go crazy and start rioting in the street, hear me out. Now, disregard the terrible My Hero fan base. The manga is actually incredible, and chapter 398 showcases why My Hero is one of the greatest new gen shonens around. And I was in the middle of making another My Hero video talking about this war arc, but when chapter 398 came out, I dropped everything and scrapped that video to talk about this chapter. I was going to talk more in depth about this final arc, but My Hero's final war arc has been slapping harder than my mom whenever I forgot to say grace. Horikoshi is showcasing his immense writing talents as he brings story elements from the very beginning of the series and reinvents and innovates them for his last arc. Now, I've been reading My Hero since it came out in 2014, and I always thought that My Hero was different from every other shonen. There was this weight that the fights had that other shonens lacked. This emotional weight that was seemingly prevalent throughout all of My Hero. And I'm not saying that shows like JJK, Demon Slayer, and One Piece lack emotional weight, it's just not at the forefront of most of their fights. And the reason that this is because My Hero is a story about heroes. Saving people and fighting in servitude of others is what heroes do. And Horikoshi conveys this weight that heroes have to bear incredibly well. The fights are not only hype, but we see the main character's motivations and true passion is for saving others from a corrupt world. All the things that make My Hero amazing is showcased in chapter 398. All Might versus All-for-One Round 2. This chapter is titled Toshinori Yagi Rising/Origin. I f***ing love when a chapter is dropped that says Rising. When you see that, you know that this chapter is going to be heat. This chapter starts off with All Might in his mech suit fighting against One for All. He hits One for All with an acid injection, which is a callback to Shido from Class 1A, which is honestly cool to see that All Might has been paying attention to all of his students and is learning from them. We then get to see All Might's origin with One for All, and those panels hit. It's really cool to see All Might before he was a hero, to see what his motivations were and why he wanted to be a symbol for the world. Then Shimura asked All Might why he's pursuing power, and then Horikoshi dropped this panel. I'm crying.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm not okay. All Might at this point in the story had no loved ones or powers, so he felt like it was his duty to step up so others didn't have to make that sacrifice. That he's quirkless, born without a role, so this is the role he needs to take. And then we circle back like 30, 40 years later, and now All Might is quirkless again, and he's now taking up the mantle of being a symbol once again, like he said he was going to do in his early teens. Like, this is incredible. This full circle moment means so much to All Might and his character. It's just so good. And now he is quirkless, fighting a prime One for All. And then we snap back to the fight and see that All for One tanked that acid shot. It's like, nah, cuzzo, that's some weak shit, and yeets All Might across this city. And can we take a minute to appreciate Horikoshi's art? Like, this cityscape is honestly jaw-dropping. When I first saw this, I was like, what am I looking at? There's so much detail on just this destroyed buildings and All Might flying. Like, and it's what's beautiful about it is it's like a whole page just to show like the magnitude of how powerful the shots that All Might is taking. I also want to point out that the building that All Might is flying through is the same building from chapter 1. And then we see this homie crying. Say, my brother, I'm also crying there with you. And that attack left All Might battered and bruised with broken bones and punctured lungs. And me personally, I would stay down. But then we get All Might's flashback to when he first met Deku, when Deku charged in to save Bakugo. And then we also get a flashback of Stain talking to All Might about what it means to truly be All Might. And the All Might that Stain looked up to and worshipped could not live his life any other way than self-sacrifice and helping others. And what's even more amazing is the rooftop that All Might landed on is the same rooftop he met Deku on. And that's where he had the conversation of, you cannot be a hero because you are quirkless. And then now All Might is quirkless on that rooftop, fighting and truly showing that he is a hero. All Might reflects on these two core memories and realizes who he's supposed to be and what All Might stands for, and that he can't be anything less than what he was in his prime. A symbol for those around him. And when I said the show has weight, this is what I meant. Despite all the injuries that All Might has sustained, despite not having a quirk, he gets up. And it's because he is quirkless that it is his job to become a symbol. And then we get my favorite panels of the chapter. We just get All Might laughing, looking kind of like the Batman who laughs, like when Joker became the Batman and would laugh. It's giving me that kind of vibe, which is so cool. And then the panel that gave me the most chills was when All Might's mask is ripped. He is battered and bruised, but he's still saying, to be of service of others, what a joy.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
This manga is peak, and I don't care what anyone says, but My Hero is peak fiction. These two panels showcase what My Hero is about. It is common to help others and be a hero in most shonens, but it's not the main aspect of the story. For example, Luffy doesn't try to be a hero, he just does what he wants and it ends up saving people. He even hates it when people call him a hero, so some of that emotional weight from Luffy saving people is kind of lost because Luffy doesn't fight purely for the sake of others. I mean, don't get me wrong, like Enies Lobby and Marineford, those emotional weights hit because Luffy was actually trying to save people, but when it came to the people of Alabasta and when it came to people of Dressrosa, Luffy saved them as a byproduct. He wasn't really caring about the citizens, he cared mainly about Vivi and Rebecca respectively. But in contrast to My Hero, where every character fights for the sake of others and they can't lose because those behind them will suffer. This creates a tension and pressure felt throughout each fight, which causes characters to keep fighting way after they should have been stopped. And I think it's this idea that has resonated with me and the other millions of readers. The idea that no matter how painful, how hard, and how difficult, you can't give up because someone needs you. And even though All Might is quirkless again, he is borrowing the powers of everyone from Class 1A and is truly exemplifying one for all. And it is incredible that everyone's unique quirks that make them different and special, All Might is bringing them all together for his suit and is using their powers to take out literally the greatest villain we have seen in My Hero. This chapter is a 10 out of 10, and this fight has been a 10 out of 10. And if you're not caught up, what are you doing? Go and read the manga. But before you do that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help out a lot. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace!